The peak will be reached by the end of 2024, somewhere between 1,650 and 2,900. A large windfall is on the way. The release of an XRP ETF is the foundation for these surprising assertions. Like how the large financial firm BlackRock, which created a successful Bitcoin exchange-traded fund ETF, is now utilizing it. Since nearly all of BlackRock's ETF proposals have been greenlit, their entry into XRP is significant. There are other artists causing waves besides BlackRock. A new player has entered the fray. Grayscale, which has already proposed an XRP ETF, has now added XRP to its roster of cryptocurrencies. It reveals an international deals involving XRP. Allow me to swiftly bring you up before we dive into the meat of today's post. Would you be able to help me out? Press the like, subscribe, or bell buttons to become a part of our wonderful group. Additionally, I wanted to inform you that once we approach 60,000 members, we are preparing for a large XRP giveaway. Make sure you're paying attention since entering is as simple as doing these 3 things. Remember to include a MoneySide code in the comments section to increase your chances of winning the giveaway. The exciting world of XRP has new developments, so let's check them out now. Closer inspection of the data reveals that BlackRock has an excellent history of approving ETFs. Significantly, BlackRock has entered the cryptocurrency and Web3 markets. Change in perspective regarding digital currency at conventional banks. The fact that BlackRock has an exceptionally high approval rate for ETFs is evidence of their mastery of the financial markets and their status as the world's leading asset manager. Actually, BlackRock is unrivaled in the industry because of its incredible 99.8% approval rate for ETFs. Having a bird's-eye view of ETFs is crucial. Rumor has it that major financial institutions like BlackRock and JP Morgan have been investigating and possibly purchasing XRP. Major financial institutions have reportedly invested over 7.5% of their total value in XRP, according to one report. Extensive research was even cited in a recent piece that stated, "It is possible that BlackRock is completely refocusing its efforts on XRP rather than Bitcoin, which would indicate a significant change in their financial strategy." This demonstrates that XRP is gaining popularity, which heightens the allure of a BlackRock ID tax. A new character has entered the XRP narrative. ETP XRP. No one knows who created the XRP ETF, but it might be issued alongside the ETP. Its very existence is a giant leap forward for an ETF. Even though the XRP ETP has supposedly been published, it is now in the pre-league stage and is hence worthless. It will soon be ready for display. It demonstrates how rapidly development on the ETF is advancing and makes sense. It might, for instance, debut only a few weeks following a Bitcoin ETF. Let me give you some context. Before its ETF launched, Bitcoin climbed from $0 to $43,000. Once an exchange-traded fund ETF debuts, XRP's value might skyrocket to $1,650. Take a deep breath, this isn't completely out of left field. In addition to the XRP ETP, an XRP ETF is within the realm of possibility, with the former becoming online very soon. Not many people are aware that the XRP exchange-traded product was made public by the well-known financial firm Fidelity. This bodes well for the launch of an XRP ETF by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Soon the Commission will most certainly grant its approval. We discussed yesterday a fresh story that suggested an XRP ETF could be on the horizon. The information was derived from a leaked report from BlackRock. According to the story, an exchange-traded fund ETF application for XRP was imminent, and the news was further amplified when a prominent BlackRock analyst publicly commented on the matter. "We are thrilled to hear that XRP will get its own BlackRock ETF." They even brought up the iShares XRP Trust in an ATF report. There it is, on the internet list of corporations in Delaware. I had my doubts at first, but after doing some research I'm convinced. This latest news shifts the focus and demonstrates how near we are to witnessing a sea change in big names in finance are getting into the cryptocurrency game, with BNK and JP Morgan together purchasing over 7.5 million XRP, according to a recent study. Compared to the changes brought about by Bitcoin's ETF, this might have an even more profound impact on the cryptocurrency market. When it comes to cryptocurrency, BlackRock is way ahead of the game. Both their company and their holdings in XRP are heavily invested in the XRP system. Above all else, they intend to go ahead and launch an XRP ETF to the public. Given BlackRock's near-perfect record of approvals, the XRP ETF has a high probability of being greenlit. How much an XRP ETF's value changes is something that needs no further explanation. It is valuable because of all the significant things that are going to happen. A gold price of $9,831 for XRP, which seems excessive at first, starts to make sense. For instance, $180 to $1 makes sense when considering XRP's positioning to become a dominant participant in international debt trading. The ISDA is the primary impetus behind the $3 quadrillion transaction that will occur on the XRP ledger, in addition to the Republic of Palau, which is developing its own digital currency for its central bank. The XRP ledger is also being integrated into the systems of the BRICS countries, which include Saudi Arabia. There is a classic trifecta of problems here: large volume, high demand, and little supply. We anticipate a meteoric rise in the value of each XRP coin. Lately, a lot of people have been thinking about this. It seems like some people think my enthusiasm about XRP is all in my head. Perhaps they're correct, but I must admit that I'd want to accept this. I gather it into a large ball and set it ablaze while I inhale deeply. It's powerful stuff. When times are tough and you feel like you're hardly surviving, having hope keeps you going. It is also acceptable if you do not believe in hope and consider it all to be wishful thinking. I convince myself that we should all just pitch in and help one another. It feels like we're just dropping pieces into nothingness because that's not our intention. Calm down, we're here to help. Lots of positive things are being said. I truly enjoy how thought-provoking the speeches are and how diverse the perspectives are. An intriguing suggestion was made regarding organizations and XRP. They might lease it instead than buying it. That got me wondering about the consequences of just buying XRP. I spoke with ChatGPT about the daily volume of SWIFT transactions to gain a better understanding of the subject. For some reason, I couldn't believe the answer was more than $7 trillion. Remember that this doesn't account for the derivatives market, which is worth $1 quadrillion, but solely international trade. Cryptographic tokens that cannot be traded for fiat currency or tokenized real estate. Consider the possibilities of using XRP for all of these tasks. Pay attention to international trade. That is what SWIFT does. We need to have that $7 trillion now. Imagine for a second that XRP, with its 1,700 connections, yep, Ripple and XRP have truly set a new standard here, was only required to process $3 trillion aero cents daily. How would that play out? The value of